So, what is an equity valuation? An equity valuation is the estimation of the monetary value of a company's worth. This could range from a 100% interest in a company all the way down to a single share.
So what is a valuation used for? It is used by investors, potential investors, and analysts to facilitate making informed investment decisions. It can also be used by companies in mergers and acquisitions in order to determine a fair price willing to be paid and willing to be received by the other party to the transaction.
Now we'll look at the different types of valuation models. There are a number of different ways to perform a valuation. Choosing between models is based on the availability of information and the preferences of each investor, i.e., every investor has a different opinion of what they consider to be valuable.
Firstly, the capitalization model uses earning yield and dividend yield. However, dividend model is seldom used unless a company has a stable dividend policy.
Then we have the discounted cash flow model. This is a widely used method used by big companies on the grounds that cash is king.
Finally, we have the underlying net asset value, which is used to value investment companies. It is also used to check the reasonability of other valuation methods. We will be focusing on the earnings-based capitalization model.
The pros of using the earnings multiple are that it is simple, it is easy to use, easy to understand, and very time efficient.
The cons are that it is based on historic figures. In other words, it's not forward-looking. Also, accounting figures are used, which can be subject to manipulation, and it is highly subjective because it relies on estimates.
Here is a brief step-by-step approach to doing a simple earnings-based valuation. First, we establish a sustainable income stream. This is based on a clean operating profit over the past several years. This means that once-off items and discontinued operations are removed from the operating profits. Then, we determine if there is an upward, downward, or patchy trend in these figures.
Secondly, we choose a suitable capitalization rate. For this, we use a comparable company's price-earnings ratio or earnings yield. Otherwise, an after-tax risk-free rate can also be used. Then adjust for the risk factors not taken into account in this benchmark rate.
Next, we capitalize the earnings. This is done by taking the sustainable earnings figure and either multiplying by your risk-adjusted PE ratio or dividing it by your risk-adjusted earnings yield.
Then we add a premium for control or a discount for a minority interest.
And finally, we perform a reasonability check against the company's net asset value.
We will now go through a brief scenario of an equity valuation using an earnings multiple.
Created using Powtoon.